Pioneer. I don't have my tripod. I don't have anything, so I'm gonna hold this. Anyways, we're gonna see if this works. Very, very frustrating. This shit really frustrates me, guys, because I can't figure out why the internet's this bad. It's the worst. But you tell me if we're on. I will see. And again, I'm waiting for the tripod, Ricky, to get it. Normally takes about a minute to come on. So you get all this equipment. You spend about, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 in electronic shit. And it does not work. So you let me know if I'm buffering or not. I don't have anything else really to show, but you guys let me know and we can go from there. Good evening. Sounds great now. Yeah, sounds great. I can't figure it out, guys. I cannot figure it out. My apologies. It totally takes everything out of me to do it when it goes like this, but it is what it is. If Ricky has that tripod, it's working great. Isn't that amazing? It's working great.
Here, I don't know if this is.
I don't know.
Is that in here?
Is it in there?
That's that black thing that's.
Yeah.
It's got the stand. Yeah. I don't think so.
Was it on the front seat or no?
On the passenger side?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. Unless I didn't know where to look for it.
Well, there's the legs. Is the body in there?
You know more than I do.
Is there two plastic things in there or one?
One, you got a glass case in here.
Yeah.
Here, you take a look at it. You should go. You know the truck better than I do.
I just tried that. Yeah. Both things are right there.
There you go, bud. You know exactly what you're
It's
doing.
amazing.
Wait,
hold on. I love it when people, I'm gonna tell you, people look at the pigeons, and the pigeons aren't sick, and the people see sickness in the pigeons. It's okay. Screw that into the bottom of the other leg. Here, the legs. Screw it in. The legs. We found it. We got it working. What did you walk into, Ryan? The little pellet gun kicked me in the head. Shot back at me. Don't want to talk about that too loud, but that's what happened. Just hold on.
That much kick on that?
It was a big kick. So let's adjust this camera here, guys.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Ricky. Now she's going to be stable. And there we go. Back to what works. There we go. So now I can see you. Now I don't have to use my hands to hold it, and we don't get like we're on an airplane or on a bumpy car. Post your comments in the questions below. It's coming in clear. So I don't know where we were at. Like again, kind of lost track. But if anyone has any comments or anything you want to talk pigeon related, post them in. I got Ricky here. We can ask Ricky. Ricky knows best.
Yeah, we're talking about
molt,
dickness and pigeons or something, or yeah. No, breeding when birds are in molt.
But like, what's a bad molt? I mean, if a bird's on his fourth flight, can you breed out of him? Sure.
Yeah. So okay, molt. I'm talking about feather molt, head molt. You know, good stuff like that. You know, I don't like to separate old birds until their molt's finished. That means their flights are finished. Separate them. I like to separate them November, right? Because you separate them. Do we need these now or no? No.
Matt, Mansker Racing. Did you sell any of the $1,000 birds you were selling online? I don't know. Again, guys, when people sell pigeons, it's what they think they're worth. But the pedigrees tell you what they're worth. So, you know, if you were going to spend $1,000, okay, and $1,000 is a lot of money. I would buy from direct breeders of birds closest to their winners that you can afford. You know, buying them from, and I hate to say this, third party buying, a lot of the time, you're paying off the birds that they bought. Not knocking that, but you're gonna pay more. You're paying more. So, you know, always watch where you're buying.
Direct children off of performance pigeons. And I don't mean a pigeon that won in North Bay, like a 160-mile race, or won 325 miles one time. You know, I want to see, like we talk about, ace pigeons. Pigeons that showed.
Well,
right. Not those pigeons that, guess what? I'm going to sell youngsters off a pigeon that, well, came great from 500 miles. Maybe it won in the club or something. One-time wonder. You know, I don't buy pigeons like that. I don't even look at them. Right?
Yeah, birds only worth what people are going to buy. But I'm telling most people that are out there to buy pigeons, if you're buying pigeons, try and buy them from the source, the winners, not from the guys that bought from the source and they're trying to recoup their money. Those are what we call pigeon dealers, trying to make their money back on their birds that they bought. Now, your odds of getting good birds from it, they go way down because they're not the original breeders. You're not getting originals. You're getting what they think it is to put it together. That's my thought on this. I say to myself, when I look at myself, and I say, okay, the Florida Pigeon Derby, 50% of that pigeon was a Feathers Elite pigeon. The EOC first champion bird was a Feathers Elite pigeon. The third was a Feathers Elite pigeon. The fifth was a Feathers Elite pigeon. The first national was a Feathers Elite pigeon. Hold on, but the first national was also the fifth ace pigeon in the combine. When I look at this, I don't have to go to that person and buy those birds. I go to the breeders of Feathers Elite I'm using that we're selling from. I go directly there because you're going to get results. Anna Gochan, G Pigeons. You want the right Gabbies. She has the ones that you want. People crazy about Gabby Vandenabeel. This woman cut Gabby's hair. Gabby goes to her home frequently for multiple races in a year. They're very good friends. That's where I would go to get my Gabbies. First place. Second place I would go to, because I've been there, is White Pigeon Lofts with Theo Agents. I would go there. As I seen, they spent $1 million on original Gabby pigeons. Now, where else would I go? After that, I kind of don't go. I don't have to worry about looking. I know where the source Gabbies are. If I see people on iPigeon selling Gabbies, they're not Gabbies. They're not this. They're not nothing of what I want. I want Peter Vandermeer. I go to get Peter Vandermeer. I want Van de Posh. I get Van de Posh. I want Emile Denny's. I get Emile Denny's. What's the point of buying?
I don't know if I'm right in saying, but I've heard a lot of people say, well, you know, those are out of I got Jansen there. There's one Jansen I got there, and there's another Jansen I got over here. Like, I don't know. I think if Jansens would come back to life and probably look at this, we're talking what? What are we talking? 50 years? What in the world is Jansen still? And then ask the guy or her, how many races did you win this year? How many? How many races did you win in your club?
Hold on. Watch this. Listen to this. Mm-hmm. Tracy says, I hear so many horror stories about people buying pigeons online. online. With I'm using the iPigeon auction site. iPigeon auction site is a great. It's a great auction site to. I those pigeons don't do anything for me either because I don't put the work in. I don't know what I'm doing. Uh, they're just no good. I'm going to dump them on there. That's what that site's for. And what happens is people get into this. We call it this what's it called? This vicious circle. The quality will not be there because you're buying people's junk. It's okay. You're buying people's junk. And you know how you learn? You buy it, you buy it, you buy it, you buy it, and you either quit buying or you buy from a reputable source. You buy from the right people. But if you keep buying, all you're doing is throwing good money after pigeons that really should be
in the ground.
Right. Same thing. I get a stray pigeon come in. A stray pigeon come in. It's great.
Yeah, we know how they come in.
It comes in. What do? I help the guy out. I get rid of it instantly. I don't call the guy and say, "Hey, Gary, I got your bird here." Nah, Gary, you want your bird? Guess what? Made a wrong turn. The hawk just ate it. It's in my garden. If you get my bird at your place, do me a favor. Put it in your garden too. We all get a little bit better when we do that. You know? But most people, they don't do that. They call up and say, "Oh, Gary, your bird's here." And then the dumbest thing is, they say, "Well, why don't you keep it and fly it?" You know what? I got 100 pigeons out there that I paid good money for, that I'm trying to work. Your bird that came in couldn't do what you wanted to do. I'm going to turn it into a superstar. I'm sorry to say, but let's just call it as it is. Feed it to the garden.
100%.
Now,
your pigeon made a mistake. Made a mistake. Listen, when you come home from work, do you walk into the neighbor's house? Do you? Come on, you don't. That's a little stupid.
Right.
What's your brain like, man? Think. Right. Well, I walked in the neighbor's house and I got in there and I slept in there. Well, what do you think? You made a mistake. Right?
But I find it amazing when people say, "Well, why don't you keep a pigeon and see how it does with you?" You want me to tell you something? What do you think? I'm stupid? It's garbage at your place. And I'm saying this, and there's going to be somebody out there that said, "Well, I got a stray in, and I flew it, and it won me a couple races." Yes, there are those stories. Yes, it does happen.
Listen, years ago, I took pigeons in from other people. I did take them in. Hey, I'm cutting down. Guess what? I got these friggin' what are they? What were those things there? I got an episode there already in my lifetime. I got those. What were they?
Those science.
Science. I got so many. Oh God, man! I got 2 pairs of science. I can't get rid of them. Will you take them, please? It's September the 18th. I'll take them. I was gullible, vulnerable, whatever the hell you call it. Sure, I'll take them. Thank you. Oh, but then the asshole called you up in February. You know those 2 pair I gave you? Remember? Yeah. Kept them all friggin' winter. I think I want them back now. Well, he got them back. He got them in a box with their heads pulled off. That's how he got them back. But I'm just saying, I've seen so many nice blue bars, blue checkers, all this shit, free shit, beautiful shit. I've seen enough. I don't want to. I'm not seeing no more. Guess what? Give them to me. I got somebody. I'll take them. Anybody that on the internet hears me right now, I will take them free. Because I got a lot of Chinese people in the area. They love pigeon soup. So basically, what we're talking about is we all go through this sickness. They go, oh, the guy told you the story. The guy at the feed store. Oh, he got this pigeon, this red pigeon from. It was Bruce Maters. Gave it to the guy. He said, "What do you think of it?" I picked it up. I read. It was short in the keel. Tail came up, and also the bird was rattling.
But
it has respiratory. Okay. And poor guy, he's a beginner. He felt so great that he got this pigeon. I looked at him and said, "Hey, my friend, it's short, tails up, and it's rattling. Who gave this to you?" This Bruce Maters guy. So what? This stupid guy's been flying pigeons for 30 years. He still doesn't know what a half decent pigeon is. Why? Because he doesn't fly. He's in a combine, he's in a club, but he doesn't really do his shit.
So anyways.
Sorry, folks, but that's the truth.
But anyways, moving on. So the sites, the sites that you see, people, when you go and say, I'm going to get into pigeons, I'm going to buy them, then I'm going to breed them and I'm going to sell them. If you do that and you don't get results with those birds, you will not be able to sell them. And if you do sell them, people aren't going to come back. You take them once, that'll be all you take them. And you don't want to do that. You want to try and put out quality. And this is why, like I said, I can go to the breeders on the phone and I can call them and say, could you put 6 pigeons in a basket for me and do an auction? And I'll get 6 pigeons. And I'll do this. And I've done it. There's auctions that I've pulled birds, called, canceled the auction because the quality of the birds, they weren't there. That's why you go to the breeders or you find somebody you trust, feel the pigeons and pick for you. And when you find that person that'll select them for you, then you're good. I know there was a guy, I did a show with a breeder. Okay? I'm not lying.
Where'd you do it?
I did a show in Europe.
Europe?
I did a show in Europe. The guy had 10 plus pigeons.
Excuse me, folks.
10 plus pigeons and the results were 20 plus. Mm-hmm. The results were phenomenal.
Right.
Champion. Super. Most wins.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't want to wait till the auction. Till our auction. Mm. And he went and he bought directly. I didn't get a chance to handle the pigeon. When I handled the pigeon that he purchased for more than what he would have paid for any of the birds in our auction. In our auction, they were better birds. The pedigrees were even better. I went like this. It made me not feel good about the guy that sold him the bird. I shook my head and said, you got to send a little bit better. But that's that guy's, I'm glad I didn't sell that pigeon. But I didn't get to hand feel the pigeon. I didn't feel the pigeon. Say, no, you know what? This isn't the one you want. Let's look some more. Let's go and look and find what you're looking for.
Some people, they don't have number one. They don't have the sight. The sight has a lot to do with it. Could be at first. Then they don't have the fingers.
Do you want me to tell you something?
Some people never get the fingers and never have a sight.
The same guy.
Sometimes I can look in a fly pen or look in a loft, and I see there's one pigeon I like.
Yeah, but what I'm going to say to you is, the same guy that I did the auction for, I said to him, I'm coming at this time to select the pigeons. Mm-hmm. Have them ready. He had said there's 24 in the basket. I only needed 8. The first 6 or 8 I pulled out. I didn't look at any other pigeons. They were that good. But the pigeon that was sold privately wasn't on the same level. Because it's not a personable feel. When you come over to my house, I cook you dinner. It's personal feel. When you go to McDonald's, it's not personal feel.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying when you're buying from people, you want to get as personal to them as you can. and you want to make sure that they know what you're looking for, because a lot of guys, they still want to sell $1,000 pigeon. They want to sell a $500 pigeon. They want to sell a $2,000 pigeon.
So I think
sell.
What I'm saying is, what you're saying is, the same man has $500 pigeons. The same man has $5,000 pigeons. That's what you're saying. The same man has $50 pigeons. Is that not correct?
Well,
Because
what I'm saying is, when you put the time in that I do to make sure that the customers are getting what I would buy for myself, right? But, listen, I'm gonna let you go and buy pigeons for me. You can go and buy pigeons for me. I don't have people that I know around here. There's very few people I could trust.
I know I've been to pigeon flyers in this country that are selecting pigeons for perfect conformation. Perfect. But the pigeons never really flew. Like, they never, flew 10 races in one season. They never flew. They were perfect. The guy had really good fingers. He was feeling for balance. The conformation was perfect. But they could feel that way in your hands. But if the birds didn't do the work, there's one thing. Perfect conformation is one thing. But did he do the work? Did it do the work? And 99% of the people in this country of ours, they don't know how to fly a pigeon.
Well,
they think
the pigeons don't go. The pigeons don't go and do the work.
Yeah,
right? The people don't push the pigeons to do the work.
They don't have the time. I know guys that say, I got the great pigeons and all this shit. Well, how are they training? He hasn't trained because he's waiting for the drywall to dry in his friggin' house. Well, okay, we're a week away from the races. He hasn't trained yet. The guy's out of luck, man. He's finished. He's done. But he sounds like he's a friggin' pigeon man. So he's not a pigeon man.
So we have a couple questions. John asked about breeding during the molt. Depends on how hard the molt is. If it's light molt, I got birds there on their 5th flight or 4th flight or 3rd flight, and the molt they're breeding.
Just hold on a minute.
I mean, if the
ideal breeding starts, let's say, in February, the middle of February in this country, put your birds together middle of February, and ideal stopping them is going to say on the long end probably the middle of June.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. When you put pigeons together the middle of February, they're not.
Hold on. Would you put a pair of pigeons together that are in a heavy molt? No. I would. So we're saying no, don't. Okay, so hold on.
I wouldn't put pigeons together when they're molting unless maybe you got to score a pair of young ones out of this. Okay,
hold on. So let's just move on from this.
But you're putting a stress when they're molting. They're not in the top health. Okay, that's same as flying up youngsters when they're in molt.
So we're saying
that's why guys do darkening. When pigeons are in molt, they have a very hard time competing against birds that have been darkened. We already went through that.
Okay, so let me use ABC Loft says why pigeons look good, feel good, but don't perform. First of all, pigeons that look good and feel good don't perform. Breed 100 youngsters. They look good. They feel good. 95 of them will be garbage. There'll be a few flash in the pans, but I'm looking for the 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so ask this fella what the whole group doesn't fly?
Well, they don't perform.
Okay, wait. Is it maybe it's him?
Yeah,
maybe it's him.
Maybe it's him. But what I'm saying is, first of all, do you know how many damn good-looking pigeons don't perform?
Oh, there's hundreds, a lot,
hundreds. I held the national winner there from Chris Marshman. He's not He's not a 10.
I could see it in the picture. He's fairly deep and he's fairly carcassy. I could just see it in the picture.
He's not that carcassy. He's a deeper pigeon. He's more of a ship pigeon.
Just what I thought I could see.
He's not perfect.
But he's got the ball. He's got it here, and he's got his heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he makes all the other imperfections. He makes up for that because he does have a strong arm. He's balanced. He's this. He's that.
But he's fairly deep, I see.
But then I can go out. I can go get wild pigeons. I can go to the pigeon clubs around here with people buying pigeons off of iPigeon and trading and little auctions and buying pigeons and going around. And I can put together an all-star team of this in the hands. But they're all good-looking pigeons out of nothings. But they're good-looking pigeons. And if I sit on the couch and watch the baseball game and do barbecues and take my son to soccer and let them out once a day and whatever, I'm going to get nothing out of it anyways. You got to be willing to put the work in. You got to be willing to invest in the right pigeons.
If you really want to win,
work.
In let's say in young bird pigeon flying, you should be putting in about 38 hours a week. And then you're going to be there. But hold it, but a big B, you got to have good pigeons.
Right.
You got to have ace. If you have ace pigeons and you put in 38 hours a week, now you're going to attack. But if you have garbage, mediocre garbage, you're going to have a tough time.
And I think what we're saying is
then when you're 38 hours a week, you better know what you're doing for 38 hours a week. You
hold on.
Make sure.
And here's the other thing. and I don't want to insult people. I'm not saying that money buys the best, but if you spend $100, $300, $200, $50, $90, right? What are you buying, anyways? Are you buying grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grand? If you're saying you're playing with Van Loons or Jansons from back in the 1970s, right? Guess what? We've got a 1969 Mach 1 out there. It cannot beat a Kia Sportage. Can't do it. It can't. Fuck, it looks good, though. But it can't beat it. It can't corner better. It doesn't even start better. The heater doesn't work as good. The tires, the steering. But guess what? The Kia Sportage is not worth what the Mach 1 is. But in the day, the Mach 1 car was a super great car. The Shelby was a little bit better. The Bosch 428 was better. The Bosch 429 was the best. There you go. Here, I'll take some ice. So what I'm saying is ABC Lofts. You've had pigeons a few years. You've been on a show. I don't know even, and I'm your friend, and I'm not insulting, but I'm going to kind of. Do you know what you're handling? How do you know? How many ace pigeons did you handle? And I'm going to tell you something. If your buddy, ABC Lofts, if your buddy, right beside you, he wins the combine against 1,000 pigeons or 500 pigeons, he's first. Go over and handle the pigeon. Go over and handle it. Feel what it feels like. Feel the difference. But the next week, the next guy who wins the combine, go and feel that pigeon. The next week, go feel that pigeon. And at the end of the season, go feel the ace pigeon of the combine. When you start to do this, you're going to start to feel a resemblance of the winning pigeons. And that's how you can start to figure out what you're feeling. But remember, be quiet, hold the pigeon, feel it. You have to use it in your fingers. And it's going to take you a hell of a lot of feeling. Hold on.
I'm coming back.
What's the best material for deep litter? Brick sand, dry brick sand. Brick sand, not clay, not dirt, brick sand. John says, I used to use wood pellets that are used for heating. Yeah. I guess I've never used them, but I would say if you want the cheapest brick sand, if you go to your quarry, you'll find it. You get a pickup truck load for under $50.
Yeah.
And put it in.
You need some pop.
This thick, not this thick, not this thick. Put it in that thick. I think I got pop right here.
You know what's good too is peanut.
Yeah, let's not
peanut shell. Like if you can get that.
Let's just talk about what we use.
People are asking. Maybe the guy's close to a place where they do peanuts.
I never use peanuts, so I don't know if it works.
I know it works.
I don't know.
Okay, same as a corn husk. When they harvest corn, and they take the husk, it's all shredded up. That's good.
You are the first guy ever to mentor Pigeon. Brian, thank you. Mike Green. All right, Ryan. We're not here to mentor, but we're just here to, what we're here to do? We're trying to, on this show, we're trying to save you time. Time.
Well, the thing is, you can't buy time. I don't know if that sounds right. I'm looking at a guy that tells me he's had pigeons for 10 years, raising pigeons. I look at him, he's still a beginner. I don't think you really know what pigeon flying's about until you probably hit around the 30-year mark. And I'm not trying to discourage people, but I'm just saying, don't just think because you buy top-notch pigeons, now all of a sudden you're a pigeon flyer. That doesn't work. You may win. Maybe you win one race in your club, but I'm saying you're not going to be, watch out for him. There's very few in this combine local. There's 100 and something guys. There's maybe only 5 that really know what they're doing. The rest of them, they're all pigeon keepers, one-time wonders. I was a pigeon keeper, and I was a one-time wonder in my life, and I know what it's about now. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like Jimi Hendrix. He could play that friggin' guitar behind his back. But meanwhile, a guy had the same guitar and only played for 2 years, couldn't even play the friggin' thing. You understand? But he had an expensive guitar.
So anyways.
Right.
Good points.
Sorry.
Robert Daughtry says corn cob litter is the best. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Corn cob, yeah. Or peanut shells or whatever.
Peanut shells.
Yeah. Don't use cat litter.
Peter Koo, is he on here?
I don't know.
He uses peanut shells.
I don't know. Maybe he would be on. Billy says, I have my pigeons 10 miles, trying to be ahead of the other guys in the club. Trying to stay ahead of the other guys. The races start September 28th. So where are we now?
We're July the
Middle
24th or something.
Every day, take them out once a day. There you go. Take them 10 miles a couple times. Jump them up 25 miles. Get them up. Keep going. Don't be afraid. Now, reminder, those pigeons, if you have them out and they're exercising good every day, loft flying and rambling away and coming back, don't be afraid to train them. You don't have to sit them at 10 miles for 20 times. Be a little aggressive. And I think it helps them a little bit. You've taken them 10 miles, maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay, now we're going to double it. Get them to 20 miles, 2 or 3 times.
Okay, so the good question is, first of all,
double or triple it.
Has his birds been loft flying for what we call rambling a half an hour to an hour and a half? Have they? Is he giving them that preliminary exercise? Then he can start working. But maybe this fellow here thinks, my birds look good, they went around the house a couple times. Yeah, just take them in the basket and take them. It don't work like that.
No, the bird's got to be rambling away.
Yeah.
And Billy, I'm going to say something.
And you got to see, the birds will tell you when they're flying
and
around your loft, when they're tucking the wings, and you see them.
And hold on. I'm going to say this, Brian. Train them. You started now. Don't stop. Every day. It don't matter, Brian, if you take them 2 miles. It don't matter if you take them 60 miles. But every day, they go in the basket, they do their one job. You have enough time, or Billy, you have enough time. Your races are at the end of September. You're starting a little bit early, but you can get them out. Then bring them back down to short. Take them back out. Bring them back short.
And train them on a line of flight.
Yeah, don't be going every which way, including Sunday.
Draw a straight line, that's what I believe, right to your first race point, and just work off that.
Okay, so what do you think about material? There is a bunch in the market. I just used Giovati, Versalaga. Should I be using anything else?
For what?
You're using Grits and Minerals. You're using Giovati. You like the name brand. You like Versalaga. Okay, you like that. Those two Grits and Minerals are great. What else can you use? You can use sulfur. You can use salt. You can use the red grit. You can make up a whole bunch. You know what? If you're not sure, put some stuff together that you want. But everything in those two grits that you're already using, it has almost everything in it that you need.
You know what the pigeons like too is you take some good hardwood, cherry or apple hardwood. Maybe an apple's not so hard, and burn it in your fire pit. If you have a little fire pit out the back, burn it right down to an ash, and then put that out for them. They love that. They love.
Right. Daniel says he's looking for some good Van Wanrooy pigeons. The Van Wanrooy pigeons, they were for the distance, super long distance. And you're from the Philippines, and in the Philippines you have hard races. Now, I'm going to say that's nice. Okay? Again, Van Wanrooy pigeons are old family pigeons. So let's like the idea. You want hard pigeons. I'm going to say this. Let's look at Emil Denny's pigeons. They've been winning since the 60s. He's still winning today. Look at Annemie Van Heen. Distance pigeons, winning today.
Don't get Xavier Verstraete.
Yeah, Verstraete, another good pigeons. What you want to do is get off of the strain, the name, and look at the performance pigeons of what you're asking for. If you want Van Wanrooy pigeons, that means where you're flying or the races that you want to play in, you want a tough-nosed pigeon. So let's take that idea, which is good. You know what you want to buy, and find modern-day, long-distance, hard-nosed, grit pigeons. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for Van Wanrooy. You're looking for a tough, hard-nosed pigeon. And there's nothing wrong with that.
If I could say something, if Van Wanrooy, if he was still alive today,
you're going to say exactly what I just said.
Okay.
Yes.
He would, as the time goes on, he will take a pigeon from Xavier.
He bring more birds to his loft.
He will bring one in and put it in.
Yes.
And then Xavier will take one pigeon from him and put it over there. And Emil Denny's, he does the same. He looks, he picks out, bang, I need that one. He always adds to his team.
Right.
He didn't sit there for 40 years and only had those pigeons. He didn't.
No.
But everybody knows when they buy one, it's from him.
Yeah, and they know when you buy from Van Wanrooy, we're using it. Or when you're buying Emil Denny's, you're buying hard-nosed distance pigeons.
That's right.
But between you, me, and the gatepost, I know Emil. Emil is every year shopping to bring into the Dark Army new hardcore long-distance pigeons to his army.
That's right.
He does it. But so what we're saying, again, my friend in the Philippines, you know what you're looking for? Now, get rid of the name. Go out and look for good, hard-nosed, modern-day, long-distance pigeons. Not Van Wanrooy. ABC Loft this. Oh, sorry. Hold on. ABC, I'm going to get to this. super hard races. Daniel says, yeah. In the Philippines, super hard. I know that. They're graveyard races. It's almost, yeah, you need hard pigeons. Robert Daughtry says, iodine is really good. Yes, it is. ABC Lofts, this is a comment. Is 40-mile train tosses far enough to go do a 100-mile first race? Sure. It's great. I'm going to say this. Sure, it's good. No, you're not giving your best. Your best, you got to get them out to about 80 miles because you want to know how they're acting on the wing. The other day, took pigeons 100 miles. They took 2 hours and 15 minutes.
So
2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Hold on. Guess what? Bang. They went straight home. If I would have taken those pigeons to 100 miles on that day, and the pigeons took 4 hours, and they come in dribs and drabs and all broken up, they weren't right. They're not right. So, ABC Lofts? No.
try and get your pigeons 2 hours on the wing if you can. But 2 hours, like Ryan said, if you take them 80 miles or 100 miles,
between 75 and 100 miles,
they have zero wind or a very slight headwind, and you train them, and if they're just over 2 hours that'll be on the wing. That's what you want to see. A pigeon that hasn't really flown 2 hours on the wing, you don't know zip.
Listen, when you take a pigeon 100 miles, they got to do it between 2 hours and 2.5 hours. That's sort of your window with neutral, a little bit of tailwind or a little bit of headwind or a little bit of shoulder winds. That's what you're looking for. The 2 to 2.5 hours, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good on the point. Would I like to see them in 2 hours and 20 minutes? 2 hours, yes, but it depends on the day. So you have to judge that yourself. Daniel says he's listening and he's focused. Good job. John M says, also, oils in the feed and how often. If you're putting oils on the feed, let's put oils that work for the pigeons. I think hemp oil or peanut oil, more hemp oil. Hemp is the best oil, I think, by far to put on that feed. Now, you can put hemp oil, you can put red cell on the feed. Put those on the feed. When you make that feed up, make it a few hours before, let the oil soak into the feed. And whenever you're putting oil on feed, you're getting a free pass to put something else on the feed. There can be Burge Yeast, Boost X5, red minerals, other powders. If you want to put a protein powder on, I don't know. You can put that stuff on. But if you oil the feed, put something with the oil. I think it's good. You're getting a double kick.
You talked about peanut oil. Mm-hmm. You can feed your pigeons peanuts, but if you put peanut oil on and you put too much, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have the runs, like it will be terrible. Yeah. Like you got to really watch what you do. Whereas hemp oil is really, you can put almost as much as you want. But why put too much on? Why, what you call it? Waste it. Why?
Right. You want that oil to cover the feed, and that's it. That feed's got to look shiny and beautiful. Then you put your powders on, whatever you're putting on. But don't put the oil on and feed it right to the birds. Get it on, let it sit for a bit, let it soak in. And if you want to make it the night before, even better. Now, Daniel says, Mike Diamond has good Emil Denny's pigeons here. Sure he does, but you don't have to buy them from Mike Diamond. Mike Diamond, he's a very smart pigeon guy in the Philippines. He goes, I've met him, was in Thailand with him. He going and buying direct from the guys that he wants. That's what you do. Go and buy directs. I'm telling you, you're going to save a whole lot of shit. ABC Loft. What if a pigeon's pedigree has no winners in the front, just winners, grandparents, everything else bred for stock? Well, it tells you It's telling you nicely that you bought.
Grandchildren or
Yeah,
great grandchildren.
you bought a paper pigeon. You bought no performance from the parents. You want to see parents, grandparents, great grandparents. You can see the odd pigeon in there bred for stock. But I look at people, they're buying everything bred for stock. And ABC Loft, if you have those pigeons, it's okay. We all made that mistake. At the end of the season, the basket will tell you how they did. Most of them won't do nothing because everything was bred for stock. And you know what I'm going to say? Who are they to stock them? Who are they? It's not Emil Denny saying that's good enough to stock. It's not Anime Van He saying it's good enough for stock. No. It's who are these people? I bred it for stock. He bred it to sell you pigeons. That's why he bred it. Bred to produce money. Thank you guys. True pigeon guys. Well, true pigeon guys, you want me to tell you something? You learn from your mistakes. And this is what we say. You're buying years of pigeon knowledge here. And by the way, we have 100 years between us, maybe a little more. But what people don't realize is...
I think we got 2 years more, actually.
102? 102. The pigeon people that we've met throughout the world, those were years that we paid to purchase. We talked pigeons with them. You learn from the mistakes. You learn, people tell you things. You learn. And as you become more open, you learn more. But you have to be ready for it. And like I say with ABC Loft, you just told me what was sold on iPigeon. Bred for stock, bred for stock, bred for stock, bred for stock.
I will never, ABC Loft, I will never, ever purchase a pigeon off of you at this point. I may...
Or anyone.
Hold on.
Anyone that's bred for stock.
I'm going to tell him what he just said. I may buy a pigeon off you maybe in 40 years from now. But I ain't going to be around, bud. So what I'm saying, just going to give you the write up. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but when I hear you bought this stuff from there, I'm sorry, but you just showed me something.
But hold on. No. But he's new, and I get that.
No, but I'm telling him the truth.
Right.
I'm telling him the truth.
And this is what he said originally. I got nice-looking pigeons, but they don't. I feel he's saying I have nice-looking pigeons that they're not doing much. Well, hey, if we breed everything for stock, I don't want stock pigeons. I want performance pigeons. But there's so many people that are looking for Greipel, Kittle, Mona Lisa, Da Vinci, whatever. They buy pigeons that are bred for stock off of these pigeons way down the line. MD Laws, Ryan, you said it right. Modern winning pigeons is the key. Listen, I love the Staff Van Reet pigeons. The sad part is, I never got to fly Staff Van Reet winning pigeons from Staff Van Reet when he was winning. After about 5 or 6 years, it's done. Move to the next guy. So when you see us doing auctions, okay, I have people that have, let's say, Van Loon pigeons. Are they winning today? No. Why are we going to sell them? We're selling you guys exactly what the gentleman from the Philippines said. I want Van Wanrooy. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. It's the name. I need to win. I don't need a name. If I want to buy names, go and buy Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. Beautiful names. Go and buy them. Brian, I want to take my birds to 100 miles before the first race. Okay, Billy, you got all the time in the world to do it. You're at 10 miles. Take them, like I said, a few times to 10. Jump them up a few times to 20. Take them to 20. Take them 3 or 4 times. They come in good. Bang, drop them back to 10 for one time. Well, they come good again. Crank them out to 50. Take them 50 2 or 3 times. They come good. Bring them back to 25. Then guess what? Bring them back to 10. Then crank them out to 75. Back and forth, up and down. Teach them. or you just go up, whatever way. You're the trainer. What's so great about pigeon flying is you're the general manager, you're the coach, you're the feeder, you're the trainer, you buy them. They only go where you take them. But you have a lot of time, and the one good thing is you've already got them to 10 miles. The only thing I'm hoping is that your birds are rambling properly. But it sounds like they are.
You know what? You don't. Let's look at it this way. The coach of a top-notch football team, NFL football, or a hockey team, NHL, Stanley Cup team, he started training probably kids. He started coaching a house league team, and he started and he started and he went up and he started learning. He learned how to choose players. He learned how mistakes. He learned his mistakes with those kids. Then he went up to house league. He went up to rep team, and he still learned his mistakes. He still learned. Then he went up to junior A, and he's still learning. He's still learning. But then he went up to NHL, and the man learned a lot from the beginning to NHL. But when he got to NHL to play with the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, he couldn't win the Stanley Cup. So what I'm saying is, you're learning those steps. You have to see how your birds come. You have to see how the body's on them. You have to see, are you feeding them the right feed? Are you overfeeding? Are you underfeeding? There's so many little things.
Right, and that's where
And that's what we're talking about.
Putting that time in.
That's right. And same as we talked to Billy, I think Billy
Yeah.
or whatever, buying birds from knockoff
pigeon flyers.
That's a step. A step you're learning. Talking to people at your club, at your combine events, a lot of people speak garbage. Garbage. They can't help it. They think they know. They speak garbage. If I listen to them, I don't say nothing. Say, okay, you're garbage. Yeah, I know what garbage is.
Now hold on, we got some comments. Hammy McIntyre says, I always took my birds to the first race station before the first race, or I worked them up to the first race. I think that's very good. I think working them up properly, stretching them out, bringing them back, stretching them out, that's very good. Daniel says, wait, hold on. Hammy says, many of my top breeders never were out of the loft. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay. I don't know. Now I learned a lot. What does Dan say? Now I learned a lot to you advise take, and I will go for your advice. Yeah, Daniel, you learned. You want hard-nosed pigeons. So again, I tell you, buy hard-nosed modern-day pigeons, not hard-nosed pigeons from 30, 40, 50 years ago. Let's find good hard-nosed winning pigeons today. And you're going to move up big time. Because if you go and buy those old Van Wanroys, yes, they still have it in them, but they're from a different era of pigeons. It's different. The hard-nosed pigeons today are faster than the hard-nosed pigeons from 30 years ago. They are. Hold on. I am learning every year. This is my third year having a loft. And ABC Loft, we're not attacking you, so please don't think that. What we're trying to do is guide you, because I hear in if I can read through your messages, I can already see you're struggling. And it's not, you're not supposed to struggle. You're at the third year. You're learning, and you're trying to save a bit of money. You don't want to spend big money on pigeons, and I get that. But what ends up happening is
time is involved.
Time is involved.
So maybe you work a 60-hour week. It's very hard. If I'm a pigeon flyer and I don't work, all I do is spend time with my pigeons. And you're next to me and you've got good pigeons. I know that. But if I ask you, you work? Yeah, I work 60 hours a week. I look at you, you don't have a chance against me. You're finished. So I'm just saying that's how it is. But how many people in our environment in this country can do it? They don't. There's maybe 1 or 2%. The rest of us in this country here, they're all working 50, 60 hours a week to put food on the table.
Wait.
Meanwhile, you go to Europe, you got 12,000 pigeon flyers in Belgium, and let's say 11,000 pigeon flyers are working 60 hours a week. And you got 1,000 pigeon flyers that all they do is pigeons 60 hours a week, morning till night. That's those guys, they're blowing those guys away.
So, and another thing.
I'm not discouraging them.
He says, this year I'm only going to keep what performs. And that's great. But be honest, get them trained out to 100 miles or 80 miles. Fly them all the weeks in the races. Try and push them to every race. Try not to hold birds back. Try and get them to every race. And at the end of the season, you keep the best ones. You move from there. You learn. And you go and you want to buy better pigeons. You say, I'm going to try and buy direct children from winners, from ace pigeons, from whatever. You look at that. Hold on. Jordan says, and this is Jordan's in Colorado. We don't have this problem as much, but I'm going to read this anyways. This is what I'm going to tell you what I would do. Pretty much every year around his area, they have wildfires, a lot of smoke, blah blah blah. Yeah. Right? You know, smoke lingers in the air.
We had that here a few years ago.
What's my opinion? My opinion is, if I'm loft flying the birds every day,
fly them in the smoke.
Fly them. You know what? I'd still train them. Maybe I wouldn't train them 100 miles. Maybe I wouldn't I'd train them 20 miles, 30 miles.
All the time smoke?
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to say I'm going to work them to what I feel I can. And I'm going to see how they're loft flying. I'm going to see everything. But I'm going to push. I will say this. I'm going to push the envelope. Hold on. Aaron says, hey, a little off topic. I got a wild duck egg hatched in our lab incubator. Do you think you could train the ducks to fly back like pigeons?
I think you can. If your wild duck, like you got him in a pond, right, and he goes and he flies a bit, mm-hmm. You will. Yeah, you can.
I wonder how far they would come back from.
Well, ducks fly. Some of them migrate. If they migrate, I don't know. They to the south, maybe from here, probably 400 or 500 miles down to North Carolina, down in there. The ones that are serious, right? So, a lot of them fly down to the Lake Ontario. It's only 30 miles away. They sit by the lake. But if there's 100 million ducks around here, I'll bet you 90% of them fly south.
Okay, all right. So that's something for you to try. You got the duck, have him by your pond there at home.
But he's got to fly around. Well, he's got to go, and he's got to go around and come back and all this shit.
Oh yeah, he's got to be a flying duck.
It's like a robin or a blue jay. You take a robin or a blue jay, catch him, take him 20 miles from your house, put a tape on his leg or
he'll come back.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah,
you're right.
Cats will do the same thing.
Yeah,
you can't. You got to have a cat that's roaming outside your house, roaming around.
Don't try it if the duck's not flying. If the duck's flying, you'll probably come back. Anyways, but you hatched it in the incubator, so I don't think it's going to be a flying duck.
Well,
it's a wild duck. It's a wild duck, so it'll fly.
Yeah, if he's got, it'll probably take off. Who knows?
Yeah,
what
but
it'll do.
he hatched it in his incubator.
Mhm.
It's a wild duck, so he's now going to put it in his pond when it's however old.
Yeah, and he's going to feed it as long as you can keep the pond open all winter with
Yeah,
water,
or wherever
it'll
it can
stay. And
stay.
a lot of,
But will it still fly, or will it become just a ground duck?
maybe,
Or those wild ducks
another
gotta
duck.
fly?
I've had mallards when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and we had an open pond. But the mallards used to fly.
Yeah.
They'd fly away, and then they'd come back to the pond, and we'd feed them around
Yeah.
the pond. So he's got to fly.
You know what? This is more interesting than pigeons. See? Good job. It's a wild duck. It's a mallard. Okay.
It's a mallard.
So it'll fly.
Well, it's going to have to find a mate, right?
You only got one egg. Yeah, it will fly,
It's a lot
says
of
my
fun.
man from Hawaii.
I love mallards.
They're nice looking. Ducks are always nice. Anyways. But getting back to training the pigeons for people, you got to put the work into the pigeons respectfully and consistently with the pigeons. It's not train them today, take 2 days off, then train them, take 2 days off.
Oh, and then don't feed them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, I fed them one day at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Get them on a bit of a system.
Then I fed them at 8:00 at night. Then the next day I fed them at 1:00 in the afternoon. Your system, you got to have them on a system. In other words, you got to leave a wedding to go to feed your pigeons, to be home to feed your pigeons. That's how you have to be.
Yeah, you gotta put the. What we're saying is you got to be somewhat consistent and put the time in.
Okay, and I'll give you another circumstance. A guy offers you a job, come and work with me. I give you 40 hours a week. I give you good bucks. Come. Say, you got to keep in your mind, I keep racing pigeons. Okay.
We're not telling you to do this,
okay.
by the way.
No, but real pigeon men do this.
Well, there's
a
small percentage.
Right. The winners do it. Well, how much overtime am I going to get on this job? Well, no, you work 40 hours a week. Okay, because you know, if I start at this time in the morning, 7, I'm done at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm home by 4:00. I can work my pigeons from then till dark. I can do what I want there. Well, if he asks you a couple times to work overtime, a real pigeon man that wants to win races, you know what he tells a guy? I quit. You don't have to tell him why. I quit. Because you know I can't do what I need to do with my pigeons. Those are real pigeon flyers. You know the real pigeon flyers in Europe. Those are the guys that are winning. So I'm saying, you know, it's tough. It's that kind of a commitment to do it. And real pigeon flyers, they work their job so they have 6 weeks holidays at a certain time of the year.
Yeah.
Whether with old birds, with young birds. I work my job, and I got it all. I got a week for dental. I got a week for sickness. I got another 4 weeks for holiday. I get 6 weeks off from the end of 1st of May till August. Bang! I got that time off. He doesn't take his family on vacation. He's every day in the pigeon loft. He's doing his shit with the pigeons. And a real pigeon man goes through 3 women in his life. Or he becomes what they call a pigeon widower. I hate to say it, but that's the real truth.
And the thing is, it becomes you become the general manager, the coach, and every year
That's your team.
That's your team, and you just learn.
Old bird team,
young
that's
bird
your team,
right? And ABC Loft, you said, well, I'll take them 40 miles training. God damn it! You take them 100 miles. You take them 120 miles. You'll push them to that limit so you know what you have. So you know what you're working with. Is it a bitch to drive them 100 miles? 100 miles will take you 2 to 2.5 hours on the highway one way, 2.5 hours back, and guess what?
The birds beat you home.
The birds will beat you home. But you know what? You're putting in that time. You're putting in that effort. You're gonna. It's like Billy. Billy. Do you want to beat the guys in your combine in your club? You're gonna train those young birds without beating them and killing them 40 to 60 times before that first race. They're going to have 20 10-milers. They're going to have 10 20-milers. They're going to have 8 50-milers. They're going to have 2 or 3 100-milers. You're going to take them up, and you're going to just slowly. You're going to give them the feed. You're going to give them the groceries. You're going to give them the good grits, the good minerals. You're going to clean the water.
You're gonna watch them.
Make it nice and take your time.
I'm out there right now. I'm not in a club and I'm not in a combine, but I got the one Loft birds here, and I'm out there. As soon as we got daylight, I let them out in the morning, and I sit out there with a coffee in the patio, and I watch them fly. I watch them come. I watch them stop, drop. I watch them go back out, dip and dive. I'm studying. I'm saying, you know what I mean. I spend right now probably 7 hours a day.
You know what?
These birds. Still,
take the birds training, Billy. Instead of taking them with Gary together and go train, take them on your own. Buy yourself a coffee and a breakfast from your 20-mile spot. Let them out in groups of 5, 10 minutes apart.
When I get to that spot with my birds, I'll sit there and drink a coffee before I liberate.
Right.
I let the birds relax.
Do different things.
The first group.
And let them out in different size groups of 10s, groups of 5s, groups of 3s, you single tossing. Because, Billy, you have the time. You're not racing till the end of September. So use that time properly. Once a day training is all you need. But loft flying every day is good. You need that. Go from there. But anyways, we've been on for an hour. Plus, we were on there with Leah for a little bit. Sorry, guys, about that connection before. I don't know now. It's unbelievable.
So why would it work here and not on that other?
And other nights, it does not work. Like when we use the iPads, the internet's not strong enough here to carry it. That's why it don't work. Tonight it's working the best on these phones.
Now, could we get Leah on this phone as well?
I don't know.
How could we hook that up?
No, we couldn't because we still have to. Well, maybe we could try it off. I don't know. Problem is I can't get the speakers onto there.
Okay.
I sold a pair of pigeons in Ireland. I sold a pair of pigeons in Ireland in 1994. They bred combine winners. They bred a combine winner with. Good. I'm glad you did, Hammy. You got a combine winner. Good. Jordan Polson says, what do you guys think about pulling flights without cutting them? I will cut them first. And I'd cut them far down, the farther down. I think if you're going to pull the flights, you better dry them.
And then I wouldn't, you know what, I'd pull not all the flights in one shot.
No, if you're pulling 2 flights, pull one at a time. Pull one, let the other one come up, then pull the next one. But while the one's coming up, cut the other one so it's drying. We made that mistake, and that's how you learn. But, Jordan, there was some good videos you sent me there training. I got to post them. I see the mountains there. And, guys, training your pigeons every day at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, that's great. Good job. 8 o'clock in the morning is great. But I also want you to train them at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. In the hot times of the day, I want you to train them then. And then I want you to learn how to train them 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. You figure out why I'm asking you that question. You have to teach them to handle the sky, the sun in the sky anyway comes. The heat, the temperatures, the stronger the wind. You want good training tosses at lunchtime. Normally it's the hottest time of the day. Normally the winds are strongest at that time of the day. Great for training.
Let them get into overcast.
Yeah, overcast skies are good.
Clear blue skies. Blue puffy clouds.
Dark skies, thunderstorms coming, but make it doable. We're not saying take them 100 miles with thunderstorm clouds coming. We're saying take them 5-10 miles. Oh, there's a storm coming. Take them. Teach them. Make sure the quest is doable. But anyways, I think we're good for tonight. Sorry about that. It was nice to have Leah on. We'll try and have her on next week. We can maybe get a better internet connection. We'll have some one loft birds. We're going to start here shortly and post up an inventory of our one loft birds. Tonight we kind of got off topic. It got screwed up, but that's okay. We'll go from there. Pretty good show. Hey.
Very good.
Nice to have you back, Ricky.
Yeah. Sorry if I discouraged a few people.
No.
But, it depends on what degree you want to get involved in. But try and do it closest to the best. I think it's fairest to your birds, to your team.
Yeah, the more work you put in
at the right time and the right whatever, right?
Yeah,
make it fairest for your team.
Yeah, and even if you don't know what you're doing, but putting work in, training them, loft line them, slowly learning.
Yeah.
Not dumping the feed, feeding them properly, taking your time, handling them when you're basketing them, doing the small things. In the end, you're going to move up quicker. And when people are winning in your area, you don't have to know a lot. Go over and say, can I come over and handle your winning pigeon? If the guy lets you handle it, you don't listen to what he's saying. Put it in your hands and feel it. And try and feel.
I'm not talking about a bird that won 100-mile race, 150-mile race. That to me.
No, I know, but yeah. I'm saying you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. But the more pigeons that you handle that have won, that are winners, you're going to feel something a lot of them have the same of. Okay? And the ace pigeons, they have a certain feel. Take a look. Hey,
I think
I'm gonna go.
You gotta go the years. For example, I've had pigeons for over 60 something years. Okay, I raised 50 young ones per year. How many youngsters did I raise so far in my life?
Right,
35,000 young ones in my life. That's young ones I've handled. How many birds have I handled? How many in these years? But then again, I could be handling and don't know what I'm handling. You understand me? You got to learn that. What was it you said? Every 1,000?
No, every 100 pigeons you gain a year.
You gain a year. Every 100 pigeons.
So, but again, for the new guys, you want to and if you're in a combine where there's only the combine has 15 members.
In a combine?
I've seen some places they got 15 members.
In a combine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or 25 members. Handling pigeons out of there is not the same as handling a combine that has 100 members. It's not the same as handling a combine that has 150 members. Different levels, but you got to start somewhere.
Same as the pigeons. The pigeons get cultivated. If a pigeon a keeper is flying against birds on an average, let's say of 2,000 to 5,000 per week, those pigeons that come out of that system, top pigeons, totally super class against pigeons that are flying in a weekly group of 500 to 1,000, right? Same as pigeons that fly against 50,000 pigeons. The mentality of the pigeons is way more advanced. May super.
Listen, if you are flying,
right?
If you are flying against 500 pigeons in your combine per week,
right?
You want to go out, you want to get impact.
Impact, yes.
Impact.
Yes.
You buy from guys that are winning in feds with 1,500 to 2,500 birds per week because it's 2 or 3 times bigger to competition.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't go, if you're flying against 500 birds a week, you don't go to a guy that's winning in a combine flying against 250 birds a week because it's not the same competition. But people don't see this. That's why, time after time, the Belgians and the Dutch pigeons have done the most impact, and the English pigeons, I'm sorry to say, maybe the Irish pigeons too, but those kind of countries that have big numbers of pigeons, that's where, when they bring them in here to North America, or you take them to the Philippines, bring them, the birds impact right away.
Well, Mo, the cheese man, he comes from where? Morocco? Morocco, right? He said in Morocco they have races 30,000, 36,000 pigeons in a race.
Yes.
Like, so what Ryan's saying is, if someone's flying in a normal racing 500 pigeons, 300 pigeons, with 10 guys or whatever it is.
Hey, listen, I'm going to say this.
If I take the top pigeon from that group and I shove them into Morocco with 36,000 pigeons, that pigeon's mentality,
listen,
it don't go.
I already know in Italy, Luca Campanelli there.
Yeah.
He got a pigeon. It's an Olympiad pigeon. It's won multiple Fed races. Mm-hmm. It's an ace cockbird.
Right.
He's beating between 1,200 and 2,000 pigeons. And this pigeon's done some winning.
Right.
I can buy the pigeon for between 5,000 and 10,000.
Right.
I can buy that pigeon and come to Canada and fly with it. No problem. America, no problem. Would I take that same pigeon and fly with it in Belgium? Maybe not. It's going to have to be a real damn super pigeon because in Belgium, they're letting go of 50,000 pigeons. 12,000, 20,000, 30,000.
Yeah.
Different competition. But to buy that pigeon to fly in North America, no problem. Anyways, let's go. I'm going to shut this down. We'll do it again next week. Guys, we're going to be on next week. We're going to try and get our internet better. I don't know how to try, but we'll say a prayer. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe. And don't get discouraged. And remember, it wasn't Oscar. It was Linda that cheated.
Oh.
Dave, it was Linda that did the cheating. But hey, what did we learn about Linda? She sleeps with Oscar. They're married. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree then, does it? Cheaters are cheaters. Sorry, Dave. Oh, and one more thing. Tony, I'm still waiting. I'm supposed to come on your show. You're here, 2651 Bloomington Road. I thought you were going to come down and get on the big show tonight. Come on down next week. Nope, I'm wrapping it up. Because
wait. I was going to say to Tony.
I got to go.
I was going to say to Tony. But you cut me off.
No, I'm just saying, come on the Pigeon Boss tour. Don't worry about Tony.
Yeah.
Tony will come around.
No, I had a story about Tony. I was going to tell a real special story.
We'll wait till next time Tony's on. So Tony can... Actually, we'll wait.